What's up, y'all? TYT Sports. I'm riding solo because no one wants to do the show with me. So process of elimination is what one fan decided to call what occurred yesterday after the conclusion, during, and then cameras caught it at the conclusion of Game 5 yesterday. Brad Stevens has been awesome. He has outcoached, you could say many, and yet he still did not receive one single vote for Coach of the Year. Still, here's what he said post-game after their Game 5 win before they take on the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Plenty of time to prepare. You know, it's not like they've never watched Cleveland before. We played them in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. LeBron's on just a ridiculous run of play. And, you know, we know that it'll be quite a challenge. But the most important thing that our team can do tomorrow is go outside and get away from it for a day and take a day off and take a deep breath. We're asking a lot of the 7 guys that played a ton tonight. They're going to keep playing a ton. So, and then we'll reconvene on Friday, Saturday, and really go to work on how we want to play on Sunday.
I hate to say it, but because we came to this ridiculous conclusion during this series before it was over, that Brad Stevens is a better coach than Greg Popovich. Let's just stop that completely on this show, because I am never going to say that ever until he unseats Greg Popovich. And you know how you do that? You continually win over and over and over again, and you hang more banners at TD Garden. So didn't that response though feel a little Popovich-esque, Popovich-ish? Or Popovich would be like, well, we just had a hard-fought series. What we need to do is take a bath and go outside and always think of something outside of basketball. So that's how it felt. Terry Rozier, by the way, did not have a great fourth quarter, but his shoe game was certainly on point. Because as you're seeing right here, much like we have sidebar left, he was scary. On top of that, here were the plus minuses for both teams. The notables: TJ McConnell was the highest in the series at a plus 41. You can say one bad move, though I do understand it, because you gotta let your guys succeed and fail when they're rookies, even if you don't view them as a rookie, respectively. TJ McConnell was a plus 41. There was a game in this series where TJ McConnell was replaced in the fourth quarter by Ben Simmons, who was the worst in the series at a minus 63. Dario Saric, a minus 43. Bob Covington, I'll get into him in a moment, minus 31. Al Horford, to no surprise, a plus 40. Jayson Tatum, a plus 34. On top of that, Charles Barkley weighed in on Brad Stevens, and he basically was saying and encompassing the feeling that we all had that he's a damn fine coach.
Man, I can't believe these guys winning. To beat Milwaukee, not to beat the Sixers, this guy, the way he plugs guys in, gives them total confidence. Yeah, like Kenny, we always talk, a coach can't give you confidence,
but he can take it away.
He can take it away. What this guy and his coaching staff, like it's always the entire coaching staff, but what this guy does, and the thing that he does, and Shaq says this all the time too, if the general don't panic, the troops won't panic. Every time they show Brad Stevens on the sideline, you can't tell if he's winning or losing. It's remarkable, and I got to give that man his credit.
It's a fair point. When I think it was Al Horford, drew up the game winner, 2 pin down screens. They had a huge mismatch in Philly, game 4. Al Horford, game winner, right? Brad Stevens was like this, and then just walked away like nothing ever happened. That could also be used hypothetically if we look on the other side of the spectrum as a negative, because if they were continually losing, he would be viewed in the same light as someone who is unemotional, doesn't care. That would be the exact commentary that we would hear. However, they're winning, so it's cool, rightfully so. Ben Simmons, 28 of 59 in the series. Look at all of his makes and misses. Maybe 3 of them came outside the paint, towards the left elbow. On top of that, you know who really helped limiting Ben Simmons? A guy named Al Horford and Aaron Baines. I kid you not, because here is what they did. Joel Embiid, as we certainly do know, very slow getting up the court. if you pay attention to this, you will absolutely see he was gassed in the fourth quarter. Had a terrible fourth quarter. Hang on, come back for just 1 second. I'll get into Bob Covington in a second. What they did was when Aaron Baines was on the floor, and even when Al Horford had to guard him, Aaron Baines would go to the free throw line and just extend his wings and limit Ben Simmons just getting in the paint because the help was there. Joel Embiid was proving in this series that he still needs to work on his three-point shot. That will certainly get there. And still, with all of this great coaching and taking a team that would be into a team that's going to the Eastern Conference Finals back-to-back years as well, Dwayne Casey's probably going to win Coach of the Year, and there's a 50-50 shot he gets fired. Brett Brown was stunned that Brad Stevens did not get a single nod. Take a look.
A little surprised that Brad didn't get a vote.
I really only know case one. I didn't know that they even tabled the votes. You're saying he didn't get a vote?
He didn't get a vote.
He should have got a vote. I would vote for him.
And so would many others. Thank you to Nesson for that. One of the other reasons that the Celtics won this series is a lot of these games were pretty close, and even throughout the game, there are certain shots that are made and missed. Again, I hate to bring this up again. I hate to be cliche to make or miss league. Bob Covington had a horrible series. For such a great player, defensively, not great. For such a good player, defensively, guarding opposing threes, offensively hitting shots, here are his regular season and postseason stats. This past season, he put up 13 points per game, got to the line a little bit, not too much, and his three-pointer was 37%. In the playoffs, he put up 8.1 points per game and shot 31% from the three-point line. If he gets that up to his average, maybe a little further, this is a completely different series, boys and girls. On top of that, in my humble opinion, Jayson Tatum is going to ball. There are going to be others like Terry Rozier who certainly showed up as well. But you know who were the two X factors in this entire series? It was a healthy Marcus Smart, who you're going to see lined up here with Jaylen Brown and Terry Rozier, for the defensive job that he did on Dario Saric throughout the entirety of Game 5 when he was on him. And then on top of that, a veteran in Al Horford who looks like Usain Bolt when he's going up in a foot race against Joel Embiid. Now, I think that Al Horford, we're going to get into this in a moment, but Al Horford is going to be the X factor once again to shut down a guy named Kevin Love. Lastly, Jayson Tatum, how brilliant was he? 25 points in Game 5 to help the Celtics advance, becomes the third player in NBA playoffs history to score 25 or more in a series-clinching win at age 20 or younger. He's joining a guy named Magic Johnson and Tony Parker, both Hoffers. That is how good they were. And maybe, just maybe, they will be as good against the Cleveland Cavaliers. That series preview still to come.